Executive functioning skills allows us to plan, remember instructions, do multiple tasks, and helps us prepare for the future. I'll give you an example for the audience whose executive functioning is robust. Suppose you were having to change, you're preparing for your day. You got out of bed, you take your clothes off that you slept in, you go into the shower, you do all of your personal hygiene, you get dressed knowing what the day is going to be like, weather-wise, what your schedule is. When somebody has impaired executive functioning, that sense of planning for the day or doing the multiple tasks, even for instance, going into the shower, we do this rote, but that requires turning the shower on, getting the right temperature, having the soap available. If you're going to put shampoo in your hair, putting it in, rinsing it off, those are all multiple tasks. And if your executive functioning is impaired, it's not available to you. You don't understand it. And if somebody is approaching you to help do those tasks, because you don't have that capacity, you don't understand what it is that they want and why they're doing it at this point in time. You know what your agenda is, but even when you communicate it verbally, it really isn't something that they understand or can interpret. So when an individual has dementia, the frontal lobe, which is literally located in the front of their brain, mediates their executive functioning, and that's impaired. So when a person's executive functioning fails, the individual has trouble analyzing what it is that you want for them. They have difficulty sharing in the planning of what is going on and organizing it. And as I said, even completing the tasks. So as a result, they might come across, like that example that I mentioned early on, my own, as being unwilling, but it might be that they just don't understand that request. It's like, imagine that if you were waking up or somebody who is waking you up, they might be familiar, but they're instructing you to get out of bed and take your clothes off. I mean, can you imagine that? I mean, when you have no sense why, I mean, I'd say like, no, because it just doesn't make any sense. So when things don't make sense to anybody, especially if you don't have the availability of your executive functioning, you're going to respond in two ways, either non-verbally, which is no, or maybe even pushing that person away because it's kind of a fight or flight response, or verbally, you're going to say something like no or stop. It is in a healthy way, a way that individual is protecting themselves against what they seem to be possibly harm or something unsafe.